Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Aditya Agrawal and here we are solving internal test 2 of data science. So let's start with our first question, that is algorithm for decision tree induction. In this question we have to derive or we have to write the algorithm for decision tree induction. So where we have basic algorithm, a greedy algorithm in which a tree is constructed in a top-down recursive divide and conquer manner. At the start, all the training examples are at the root and attributes are categorical. If continuous valued, they are discretized in advance. Examples are partitioned recursively based on selected attribute. Test attributes are selected on the basis of heuristical or statistical measures. Example, information gain, or Gini index, or variance problem. There are different methods to decide which attribute should be taken to divide the examples. And for we have to put some condition for stopping our partitions, and these conditions might be if our all samples of our node belong to the same class, or there are no remaining attributes for further partitioning, or major voting is employed for classifying the leaf, or there are no samples left. In these conditions, we have to stop the partitioning of the tree. Now let's move forward to our next question. That is question 2, attribute selection matrices. We have to provide attribute selection measures that we can use for decision tree making. So here we have two methods. First is information gain, which is also called ID3 or C4.5. In this method, we all attributes are assumed to be categorical, and secondly, it can be modified for continuous valued attributes. Okay, and then the next method comes is Gini index, that is IBM intelligent miner. In this, all attributes are assumed continuous valued, and it can be modified for categorical attributes also. It assumes that there exist several possible split values for each attribute, or it may need other tools such as clustering to get the possible split values. So this is quite a efficient method, we can say. uh, Now let's move forward to the next question, that is we have to derive the formulas or mathematical expression for information gain and Gini index. So first we will derive the formula for information gain. In this information gain, we first select the attribute with the highest information gain and let's assume there are two classes P and N. Let the set of examples S contains P elements and of class P and N elements of class N. The amount of information needed to decide if an arbitrary example in S belongs to P or N is defined as by this formula, that is mm, minus P by P plus N log to the base 2 P by P plus N minus N by P plus N log base to the 2 and P plus N. And this is the mathematical expression for finding the information gain before the split, and to find the information gain after the split we have to perform this formula. For this, first let assume that using attribute a set S will be partitioned into S1, S2 and up to the SV. So if Si contains Pi examples of P and Ni examples of N, then the entropy or the expected information needed to classify object in all subtrees Si is Ea equals to summation I equals to 1 to V, and we have to calculate the information gain for all the values, and at last to encode the information get that would be gained during the branching of on A. It can be calculated by subtracting the previous value from this value. this value from the previous value. In this way, we can calculate the information gain in decision tree induction. And now let's talk about our next method, that is Gini index. If a in this, if a data set T contains examples from n classes, so Gini index of T for T is defined as Gini T 1 minus summation Pj square, where Pj is the relative frequency of class J in T. If a data set J is split into two subsets, T1 and T2, with size n1 and n2 respectively. So the Gini index of the split data contains examples from n classes. The Gini index Gini T is defined as then n1 upon n Gini T1 plus n2 upon n Gini T2. In this way, we can calculate the Gini split of after means that we can in this way we can calculate the Gini index after the split. The attribute provides with the smallest Gini split is chosen to be split the nodes, and we need to enumerate all possible splitting points for each attribute. Means in information gain we choose with the highest information gain attribute, and in Gini index we choose the smallest Gini split attribute for splitting the tree. Now let's move forward to our next question, that is uh, before forwarding to our next question, we also understand how we extract classification rule from tree. We can represent our classification rule in the form of if-then rules. One rule is created for each path from the root to a leaf. Each attribute value pair along a path forms a conjunction. The leaf node holds the class prediction, and rules are easier for humans to understand. Example, if age is less than 30 and student equals to no, then bias computer. If age is less than 30 and student equals to yes, then bias computer. These are the simple basic rules if and we make with the help of if and then. Now let's move forward to our next question, that is overfitting and tree pruning in classification. The generated tree may overfit the training data, and in this way too many branches may some may reflect anomalies due to noise or outliers, so it will result in poor accuracy for unseen samples. So there are two approaches to avoid this type of overfitting, that is pre-pruning and post-pruning. In pre-pruning, we half reconstruction early, and we do not split a node if this would result in the goodness measure falling below a threshold. So in this we calculate a goodness measure, and if any node or any attribute falls the goodness falls below the threshold of goodness measure, so we stop our splitting. But in this there is a difficulty to choose an appropriate threshold. There is another method, that is post pruning. In post pruning, we first create our whole tree, then we remove branches from a fully grown tree and get a sequence of progressively pruned trees. In this, we use a set of different forms the training data to decide which is the best pruned tree. In this way, we perform tree pruning to avoid overfitting. This is our last question, and in this way, we have finished our test 2 also. Now we will meet our in next video, in which we will solve our test 3 of data science. Thank you.